Have you ever stood at the edge of a decision so profound it seemed to reverberate through your very being? Perhaps it's the realization that a bond you've held tightly, a friendship, a familial tie, or even a lifelong relationship, may no longer serve your path. It's an unsettling truth to confront. We are creatures of connection, drawn to the comfort of familiarity, yet sometimes that very familiarity can act as a quiet anchor, holding us back from the boundless potential of who we are meant to become. Stoicism, a philosophy as timeless as the stars, invites us to examine the intricate dynamics of our relationships through a lens of wisdom and intention. It doesn't preach cold detachment or callous dismissal, but rather encourages us to cultivate a life imbued with purpose, one where the people in our inner circle reflect our highest virtues and aspirations. Picture this. You are tending a garden, each plant representing a connection in your life. Some flourish in the sun, contributing beauty and nourishment to the soil of your soul. Others, however, may wither or even encroach upon the vitality of the space, choking the potential growth of everything around them. The question then arises, do you cling to the withering vines out of sentiment, or do you make the difficult choice to prune for the sake of growth and balance? The ancient Stoics understood this dilemma deeply. They recognized that personal growth is rarely a journey of ease. It demands discernment, courage, and often sacrifice. To embrace a fulfilling life, they taught, we must take stock of the people around us, asking with unflinching honesty, do these connections elevate me, inspire me, and propel me forward, or do they hinder my pursuit of excellence and inner peace? Today, as we embark on this exploration of 11 signs that signal it may be time to step away from certain relationships, let us do so not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons learned, the memories shared, and the strength gained from knowing when to say goodbye. Together, we will delve into the wisdom of Stoicism to illuminate a path toward freedom, growth, and the tranquility that comes from aligning our relationships with our deepest values. This is not just about endings. It's about new beginnings, about curating a life that reflects your highest self. Let us begin this journey together, with hearts open and minds ready to embrace the transformative power of wisdom. 1. Lack of personal growth, a silent call for change. Growth is the essence of life, a dynamic, ever-unfolding process that demands we continually challenge ourselves, seek knowledge, and evolve. Yet, there are times when certain relationships, though steeped in history and shared experiences, begin to hinder this natural progression. It's not always blatant. Often, the stagnation is subtle, creeping into our lives as comfort, routine, or misplaced loyalty. But over time, it becomes undeniable. What once felt enriching now feels confining, like a plant outgrowing its pot. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, remind us that our lives are shaped by those we choose to surround ourselves with. Seneca, a master of personal growth and self-mastery, believed that stagnation is a red flag we cannot afford to ignore. To live a life worth living, he taught, we must push our boundaries, embrace change, and align ourselves with those who encourage our journey toward excellence. Consider this. Are the people closest to you your cheerleaders, urging you to ascend to greater heights? Or do they inadvertently, or perhaps even deliberately, hold you back? Do they support your dreams and aspirations, or do their actions, words, or indifference act as unseen weights, tethering you to mediocrity? It is in asking these hard questions that clarity emerges. This is not to suggest that every relationship must be driven by ambition or achievement. Life is not a race to be won but a journey to be savored. However, true connections should inspire, nurture, and propel us forward. They should instill in us a sense of possibility and courage, not doubt and fear. The Stoics remind us that we cannot flourish in the shadow of negativity or complacency. To grow, We must curate our relationships with the same care and precision as a sculptor chisels a masterpiece. If you find yourself in a relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, where growth feels unattainable, it may be time for a pause. Reflect on the dynamic. Is it the relationship itself, or your fear of change that holds you back? In these moments of introspection, Stoicism offers not only clarity but courage. It teaches us to let go, not with resentment, but with gratitude for what the relationship has brought us and what it has taught us. Choosing growth over comfort is one of life's most profound acts of self-respect. It is an acknowledgement of your potential and a commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. And sometimes, this means stepping away, not out of anger, but with the understanding that some relationships are not meant to endure every stage of our journey. They serve their purpose and then make way for new connections, new opportunities, and new horizons. The path to personal growth is not always smooth, but it is always worth walking. Let us embrace this journey with wisdom, intention, and the knowledge that by choosing growth, we honor not only ourselves but the very essence of life itself. 2. Negative emotions dominate, a clear signal for reflection. Emotions are the unseen currents shaping the waters of our relationships. While no connection is immune to moments of anger, jealousy, or frustration, these emotions should be the exception, not the rule. When negative emotions become the foundation of a relationship, when interactions are marked by resentment, conflict, or envy, it's a signal that the relationship may no longer align with your pursuit of tranquility and growth. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, remind us of the power we hold over our internal state. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle becomes a guiding light when relationships stir feelings that threaten to overwhelm us. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can, and must, control how we respond to them. Yet, there are moments when even our best efforts to remain composed cannot salvage a connection dominated by negativity. Consider the dynamics of your relationships. Do you find yourself walking on eggshells, anticipating conflict, or bracing for criticism? Do you leave interactions feeling drained, diminished, or destabilized rather than uplifted? If the relationship feels like a battleground instead of a safe haven, it's a sign that the emotional toll may be too high. This does not mean we should abandon relationships at the first sign of difficulty. The Stoics valued perseverance and encouraged us to approach challenges with courage and wisdom. But they also taught the importance of harmony and balance. A relationship that consistently disrupts your emotional equilibrium may require deeper scrutiny. Ask yourself, are these emotions arising from temporary misunderstandings, or are they symptoms of a deeper misalignment? Is this connection helping you grow and thrive, or is it pulling you into cycles of negativity? Choosing to address, or in some cases, release, a relationship dominated by harmful emotions is not an act of coldness, but one of self-respect. It's an acknowledgement that peace of mind is not negotiable, and that true connections should contribute to your journey, not derail it. Walking away, if necessary, is not a failure but a testament to your commitment to live in alignment with your values and virtues. As you reflect on your relationships, consider the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Surround yourself with those who inspire positive thoughts, encourage growth, and foster harmony. And for those connections that bring only turmoil, have the courage to let them go, not out of bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained. True growth begins when we create space for tranquility. By choosing relationships that elevate rather than deplete us, we honor both our emotional well-being and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. 3. Manipulation and control. Reclaiming your autonomy. Freedom is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. It is the space where individuality thrives, choices are made with intention, and self-expression flourishes. Yet, some relationships can subtly, or overtly, erode this freedom, leaving us feeling more like puppets than partners. Manipulation and control, whether cloaked in subtle suggestions or enforced with outright demands, are antithetical to the values of respect and autonomy that Stoicism so deeply cherishes. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, reminds us, "No one is free who is not master of himself." This wisdom calls us to examine our relationships through the lens of autonomy. Are your decisions, aspirations, and even your sense of self being shaped by another's influence? Have you relinquished control of your life's direction in ways that compromise your integrity and stifle your personal growth? If so, it may be time to reflect on the true nature of such connections. Manipulation often masquerades as care or concern, making it difficult to recognize. It can appear as constant advice steering you away from your passions, subtle guilt tripping to meet someone else's expectations, or overt domination over your choices. Regardless of its form, the result is the same: a slow erosion of your independence and a growing distance from the authentic self you aspire to be. The Stoics teach us to value relationships that respect mutual freedom. True connections, they argue, are not built on power dynamics or control, but on a foundation of equality and respect. These relationships encourage us to navigate life as the captains of our own ships, steering toward our goals with confidence and clarity. When a relationship seeks to clip your wings or chart your course, it is a profound red flag that must not be ignored. Ending a relationship marked by manipulation is not about retaliation or anger. It is an act of self-preservation and respect for your autonomy. It is about honoring your worth and reclaiming your right to live a life aligned with your values and aspirations. Such decisions are rarely easy. They may involve letting go of deep attachments or stepping away from the familiar. But as the Stoics remind us, the path of integrity often requires courage. In the words of Epictetus, "Seek not the good in external things. Seek it in yourselves." This wisdom urges us to prioritize our inner freedom above external attachments that compromise it. By doing so, we create space for relationships that empower, respect, and align with our highest self. Take a moment to reflect. Are you the master of your own life, or is someone else pulling the strings? If you find yourself tethered by manipulation, summon the courage to sever those ties. Doing so is not an act of rejection, but a declaration of your commitment to a life of freedom, purpose, and self-mastery. Let your relationships be a sanctuary of mutual respect, where autonomy is cherished and individuality celebrated. 4. Draining energy, protecting the vitality of your inner world. Energy is the lifeblood of personal growth and fulfillment. It fuels our ability to think clearly, act decisively, and pursue the life we are meant to lead. But some relationships, though once a source of joy and connection, begin to sap this precious resource, leaving us depleted, unmotivated, and questioning our self-worth. When the time spent with someone consistently leaves you feeling drained rather than uplifted, it's a sign that the balance in the relationship has shifted in a way that demands reflection. The Stoics emphasize the importance of protecting one's inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that we cannot always control how others act, but we can, and must, control the environments we allow to shape our thoughts, emotions, and energy. Consider the relationships in your life. Are they sources of nourishment, helping you grow and thrive, or do they feel like a constant uphill battle? Do they add harmony and clarity, or do they cloud your mind with doubt and conflict? When a relationship feels more like a storm than a safe harbor, it's a signal that something is amiss. This is not to say that all relationships must be devoid of conflict or challenges. The Stoics understood that life, like relationships, comes with its share of storms. However, they also taught that our closest connections should provide a foundation of support and understanding, enabling us to face life's challenges with resilience. If a relationship consistently undermines your peace of mind, it may no longer be serving its intended purpose. Walking away from such a connection is not an act of selfishness, but an act of self-preservation. It is a recognition that your energy is finite and should be spent on pursuits and people that align with your values and aspirations. By choosing to let go of relationships that drain you, you are creating space for those that inspire, uplift, and contribute positively to your life. Take a moment to reflect. Are there connections in your life that feel like constant struggles rather than sources of mutual growth? If so, consider the Stoic principle of aligning with what supports your inner tranquility. Release the relationships that weigh you down, not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons learned. By doing so, you honor both yourself and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, fostering a life of peace, vitality, and purpose. Surround yourself with those who enrich your inner world, not deplete it. In the company of such connections, you will find not only the strength to persevere, but also the clarity to flourish in every aspect of life. 5. Compromising core values, the silent erosion of self. Our values are the compass by which we navigate life, a reflection of who we are and the principles that define our existence. They shape our decisions, guide our actions, and provide a foundation for meaningful relationships. Yet, when a connection begins to demand compromises that clash with these core beliefs, it signals a deeper problem. Over time, these concessions, seemingly small at first, can chip away at our integrity, leaving us disconnected from ourselves and our purpose. The Stoics, steadfast in their pursuit of virtue, understood the dangers of betraying one's values. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This clarity underscores the importance of living in alignment with our inner truths. To compromise these truths for the sake of a relationship is to relinquish a part of ourselves, a price too steep for any bond, no matter how significant it seems. Consider the dynamics of your connections. Do they challenge you to grow within the framework of your values, or do they subtly, or overtly, push you toward actions and beliefs that contradict your moral compass? Perhaps it's the pressure to prioritize someone else's desires over your principles, or to remain silent when your conscience urges you to speak. These are not mere inconveniences. They are warnings that the relationship may be misaligned with your authentic self. Living in alignment with our values requires courage, especially when relationships test our resolve. The Stoics remind us that a life of virtue is not easy but essential. True relationships should support this journey, encouraging us to remain steadfast in our principles. They should inspire us to be better, not tempt us to be less. When faced with a relationship that demands you betray your values, it is an opportunity for profound reflection. Ask yourself, is this connection honoring my essence, or is it eroding it? Am I sacrificing the very virtues that define me for the sake of temporary harmony? These questions are not easy to confront, but they are necessary to ensure your path remains true. Letting go of such relationships is not an act of judgment or rejection, but of self-respect. It is a declaration that your values are non-negotiable and that you will not compromise your integrity to preserve a connection. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. By staying true to your principles, you embody the very virtues the Stoics revered. In the end, relationships that challenge our values in unhealthy ways are not worth the cost of our integrity. Surround yourself with those who honor and uplift your beliefs, fostering connections that align with your highest self. In doing so, you live not only in harmony with Stoic wisdom, but also with the profound truth of your own being. 6. One-sided effort, the weight of uneven reciprocity. At the heart of every meaningful relationship lies balance, a natural rhythm of giving and receiving that fosters mutual respect and connection. Yet, when this equilibrium falters, and one person continually shoulders the burden of effort, the relationship begins to erode. A one-sided dynamic, where giving becomes an expectation and receiving an afterthought, is more than a source of exhaustion. It is a fundamental breach of the harmony that sustains true connection. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human relationships, emphasize the value of reciprocity. They believe that the best relationships are partnerships where both individuals contribute to the well-being and growth of the other. Seneca reminds us, the wise man is self-sufficient. Yet, he takes care of a friend and welcomes their care in return. This wisdom highlights the necessity of balance, not as a transactional exchange, but as a natural expression of mutual respect and regard. Consider your relationships. Do they feel like shared journeys, where both parties contribute to each other's growth and happiness? Or do they weigh heavily on your shoulders, with your efforts rarely mirrored or appreciated? Over time, such imbalances can lead to feelings of resentment, self-doubt, and emotional fatigue, draining the joy and fulfillment that relationships are meant to provide. Acknowledging this imbalance is not an act of selfishness but of self-awareness. It requires courage to recognize when a relationship no longer reflects mutual respect and effort. The Stoics teach us to approach this realization with clarity and compassion, asking, is this relationship fostering growth for both of us? Or am I enabling a dynamic that diminishes my well-being while stifling the other's accountability and contribution? Addressing this imbalance doesn't necessarily mean ending the relationship. Often, it begins with open and honest communication, a dialogue that expresses your needs and invites the other person to reflect on their role. True connections are resilient, capable of evolving when nurtured with intention. However, if the imbalance persists despite your efforts, it may signal the need for a more profound change. Walking away from a one-sided relationship is not an indictment of the other person but a recognition of your worth. It is a declaration that you deserve relationships built on mutual effort, respect, and care. By doing so, you honor the Stoic principle of valuing connections that uplift and sustain us while releasing those that do not. Let your relationships be gardens of shared cultivation, where effort and energy flow naturally between you and the people you cherish. In the reciprocity of giving and receiving, we find the true essence of meaningful relationships, a harmony that aligns with Stoic wisdom and the path to a fulfilled and balanced life. 7. Abuse of any kind, a non-negotiable boundary. Abuse in any form, whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, is a violation of the dignity and self-respect every individual deserves. It is a breach of the fundamental principles that underpin healthy relationships: trust, respect, and safety. While conflicts and disagreements are natural in any connection, abuse is an unequivocal signal that a relationship has crossed a line that cannot and should not be ignored. The Stoics, steadfast in their commitment to human virtue and worth, would view abuse as utterly incompatible with a life of integrity and wisdom. Epictetus famously said, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." This wisdom reminds us of the inherent value within each of us, value that must never be diminished or disregarded by another's actions. In the context of abuse, Stoicism calls us to act decisively, not out of anger or vengeance, but from a place of self-preservation and respect for our inherent worth. Abuse erodes the very foundation of our inner peace and strength, creating an environment where fear and control replace mutual respect and understanding. To remain in such a situation is to allow the violation of one's dignity, a compromise no one should make. Recognizing abuse can be challenging, especially when it manifests subtly, such as through manipulation, gaslighting, or demeaning language. However, the Stoic commitment to clarity urges us to confront these realities with courage. Reflect honestly on your relationships. Do they honor your dignity, or do they leave you feeling small, controlled, or unsafe? If the latter is true, it is not only appropriate but necessary to take action. Exiting an abusive relationship requires immense strength, often accompanied by fear of the unknown. Yet, as the Stoics teach, the pursuit of virtue and well-being demands difficult choices. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or professionals who can guide you through this process. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your courage and commitment to reclaiming your life. Abuse is not a reflection of your worth, but a failure on the part of the abuser to respect it. Walking away from such a relationship is not an act of abandonment, but a declaration of your commitment to a life of dignity, freedom, and inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Take that strength and use it to build a life where your relationships are rooted in respect, safety, and mutual growth. By doing so, you not only honor your own worth, but also embody the Stoic principle of living with integrity and courage, even in the face of adversity. Let your journey be a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering pursuit of a life that reflects your true value. 8. Failed communication. The crumbling bridge of connection. Communication is the lifeblood of any meaningful relationship. It is through words, expressions, and shared understanding that we connect, resolve differences, and grow together. When this bridge falters, when attempts to convey thoughts are met with indifference, defensiveness, or misinterpretation, the foundation of the relationship begins to weaken. Failed communication is not merely a minor inconvenience. It is a sign that deeper issues may be undermining the connection. The Stoics, known for their commitment to clarity and rationality, regarded communication as a vital tool for fostering understanding and harmony. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your speech be true and just." This wisdom underscores the importance of honesty and precision in our interactions, qualities that form the cornerstone of trust and respect. When these qualities are absent, communication ceases to serve as a bridge and instead becomes a barrier. Consider the dynamics of a relationship where communication has broken down. Conversations become arguments, misunderstandings pile up, and mutual respect erodes. In such an environment, frustration replaces connection, and efforts to reconcile often feel futile. The Stoics teach us that clarity and self-awareness are essential in these moments. Reflect honestly. Is the failure to communicate rooted in unresolved conflicts, incompatible values, or a lack of mutual effort? Identifying the cause is the first step toward resolution. Addressing failed communication requires courage and patience. It begins with a willingness to listen, to truly hear the other person's perspective without judgment or interruption. It involves expressing your thoughts with honesty, not to accuse or blame, but to seek understanding. The Stoics remind us that empathy is as vital as clarity. As Marcus Aurelius noted, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? However, not all communication breakdowns can be repaired. When efforts to mend the bridge repeatedly fail, it may be necessary to acknowledge that the relationship is no longer sustainable. This is not an act of defeat, but of wisdom. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our words, our actions, and our choices, while accepting what lies beyond our influence. If a relationship is marked by persistent communication failure, it may be time to step back. This decision should be guided by reflection and compassion, not bitterness or haste. By choosing to let go of a connection that no longer fosters understanding, you create space for relationships that align with your values and aspirations. Let your relationships be grounded in open, honest dialogue, where mutual respect and empathy pave the way for deeper connection. In these spaces, we find not only harmony but also the strength to grow together, a testament to the Stoic ideals of wisdom, clarity, and intentional living. 9. Lack of mutual respect, the fragile foundation of relationships. Respect is the cornerstone of every healthy relationship. It forms the bedrock upon which trust, understanding, and love are built. Without mutual respect, a relationship becomes hollow, devoid of the depth and connection that sustain it. When one party fails to acknowledge the inherent worth and dignity of the other, the relationship shifts from being a sanctuary of support to a source of discord and disillusionment. The Stoics placed immense value on respect, not just as a courtesy, but as a reflection of one's character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Treat people as they deserve, but also with the recognition that they, like you, are flawed humans." This wisdom speaks to the delicate balance of holding ourselves and others to a standard of respect while remaining compassionate and understanding. Yet, when respect is absent, when you are consistently undervalued or dismissed, it becomes clear that the foundation of the relationship is compromised. Consider the relationships in your life. Are your thoughts, feelings, and boundaries honored? Or are they disregarded, leaving you feeling diminished or invisible? Mutual respect is not about agreeing on everything, but about valuing the other person's perspective and personhood, even in disagreement. When this respect is lacking, interactions often devolve into power struggles, contempt, or neglect, all of which erode the relationship's integrity. Stoicism teaches us to approach such situations with clarity and self-reflection. Ask yourself, is this relationship challenging me to grow in a healthy way, or is it undermining my sense of self-worth? Am I respecting myself by tolerating disrespect from others? The answers to these questions often reveal the true nature of the connection and whether it aligns with your values and aspirations. Addressing a lack of respect begins with self-respect. The Stoics remind us that how we allow others to treat us is a reflection of the respect we hold for ourselves. Setting boundaries, communicating openly, and standing firm in your worth are acts of integrity, not selfishness. However, if the other party remains unwilling to acknowledge your value despite your efforts, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. Letting go of a relationship marked by disrespect is not an act of anger or judgment, but of self-preservation. It is a recognition that respect is non-negotiable in any meaningful connection. As Seneca wisely stated, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surround yourself with those who recognize your worth and inspire you to be your best self. By prioritizing mutual respect, you honor the Stoic principle of living in alignment with virtue and dignity. Let your relationships reflect this commitment, fostering connections that uplift, support, and celebrate the best in both you and the other person. In such spaces, you will find the strength and serenity to thrive. 10. Illusions over reality, the danger of false perceptions. Reality is the foundation of a meaningful life. To live authentically, we must see the world and our relationships for what they truly are, not as we wish them to be. Yet, it is all too easy to become tethered to illusions in our connections, clinging to an idealized version of someone or holding on to hope that things will change. This detachment from reality not only clouds our judgment, but also prevents us from building genuine, fulfilling relationships. The Stoics, with their emphasis on clarity and acceptance, implore us to confront illusions head-on. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You must see things as they are, not as they appear to be." This wisdom encourages us to strip away the narratives we construct around our relationships and face their true essence. Are you holding on to a connection that exists only in your mind? Are you ignoring red flags or painting over flaws to maintain a comforting but false image? Consider your relationships. Are they rooted in authenticity, or are they sustained by wishful thinking? Perhaps you see potential in someone who repeatedly fails to meet it, or you convince yourself that a situation will improve despite evidence to the contrary. While hope and optimism are valuable, they must not come at the expense of truth. The Stoics teach that by embracing reality, we empower ourselves to make choices that align with our values and well-being. Facing the truth of a relationship can be painful. It may mean acknowledging that the person you care for is not who you thought they were, or that the connection you've invested in no longer serves you. But as Epictetus reminds us, it is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. By letting go of the illusions we've built, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open the door to genuine connections. Letting go of illusions is not an act of cynicism but of courage. It is a commitment to living with integrity, guided by reality rather than fantasy. In doing so, we honor the Stoic principle of aligning ourselves with nature, the reality of how things truly are. This process is not without its challenges, but it is through this clarity that we find peace, freedom, and the opportunity to build relationships that reflect our true selves. Take a moment to reflect. Are you nurturing a relationship based on its reality, or are you lost in a mirage of your own creation? By confronting this question honestly, you reclaim your power and set yourself on a path toward authentic connection. In the words of Seneca, only the truth will set you free. Embrace it and let your relationships be a reflection of the genuine, unvarnished truth, a truth that aligns with the wisdom and strength of Stoicism. 11. Disturbance of inner peace. When a relationship disrupts tranquility, inner peace is the cornerstone of a fulfilled life, a state of clarity and calm that allows us to navigate the complexities of existence with grace. The Stoics held tranquility as one of the highest virtues, a quality to be protected against external turmoil. Yet, some relationships, instead of fostering this peace, become persistent sources of disruption. When a connection repeatedly disturbs your inner calm, it may be time to reassess its place in your life. Marcus Aurelius observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that while we cannot control the actions or emotions of others, we can, and must, protect the sanctity of our own mental state. Relationships that frequently bring chaos, stress, or conflict rob us of this tranquility and divert our focus from growth and fulfillment. Consider the relationships in your life. Do they bring comfort and strength, or do they leave you feeling unsettled, anxious, or drained? A healthy connection is not devoid of challenges, but its core should offer support and mutual understanding. Conversely, relationships that constantly stir drama, demand excessive emotional labor, or undermine your sense of well-being are warning signs that your inner peace is being compromised. The Stoics encourage us to approach such disturbances with reflection and courage. Ask yourself, is the turmoil in this relationship caused by external behavior, unresolved issues, or my own reactions and expectations? By identifying the root cause, you can decide whether the relationship is worth salvaging or if it is fundamentally misaligned with your pursuit of tranquility. Choosing to distance yourself from a relationship that disrupts your peace is not an act of coldness, but one of self-respect. It is a recognition that your well-being is non-negotiable and that true connections should enrich, not diminish, your life. As Epictetus stated, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Sometimes, the difficulty lies in walking away to preserve your inner harmony. This decision is not about avoiding discomfort or conflict, but about aligning your life with the principles of Stoicism. It requires acknowledging that some relationships, despite their history or significance, may no longer serve your highest good. Letting go, when necessary, is a step toward a life of clarity and balance. Surround yourself with relationships that nurture your inner peace, where mutual respect and understanding form the foundation. By doing so, You honor the Stoic pursuit of a tranquil and virtuous life, free from unnecessary turmoil. In the calm of this harmony, you will find the strength to flourish and the freedom to live in alignment with your highest self. Conclusion. As we reach the end of this exploration, let us reflect on the profound wisdom Stoicism offers. Life is a journey, and our relationships are among its most defining elements. Yet, not all connections are meant to accompany us through every season. Recognizing when to let go is not a failure but a courageous act of self-respect and growth. It is a declaration that your inner peace, values, and aspirations are worthy of being protected and prioritized. The Stoics remind us that true fulfillment lies not in the quantity of our relationships but in their quality. By curating our connections with intention, we create space for bonds that uplift, inspire, and align with our pursuit of a virtuous life. This process is neither easy nor without its share of grief, but it is through these difficult choices that we reclaim our freedom, strengthen our resilience, and move closer to the life we are meant to lead. If this journey through Stoic wisdom has resonated with you, consider it a starting point, a spark to delve deeper into the timeless teachings that guide us toward clarity, strength, and purpose. Subscribe to this channel and join a community committed to growth, reflection, and the pursuit of wisdom in every facet of life. By subscribing, you'll gain access to more insights, tools, and practices to navigate the complexities of relationships and the challenges of personal development. Let us continue this journey together, united in our quest for meaning, tranquility, and truth. Hit the subscribe button and stay connected for more explorations into Stoicism and the ancient philosophies that remain profoundly relevant in our modern world. Share this message with someone who might benefit from it, and let us grow, step by step, toward lives of intention and virtue. Until next time, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let this be your guiding light as you choose the relationships and paths that truly serve your highest self. Stay inspired, stay intentional, and above all, stay committed to your journey of becoming. See you in the next video.